What's going on, you guys? Mr. Allen here, and we're about to graph this quadratic function. Now, the first thing we need to do is figure out our vertex. And to do that, I can use my fancy formula, x equals the opposite of b over 2a. Now, that's going to give me my x-coordinate of the vertex, and I can plug that back in to get my y-coordinate. So what are the a and the b values? Well, my a value is the coefficient of the quadratic term, and the b value is my coefficient of the linear term. So I'd have the opposite of b, which would be negative 4, meaning positive 4, over 2 times 1. So 4 divided by 2 is just going to be 2. So I know my x-coordinate of the vertex is 2, and this also gives me my axis of symmetry, x equals positive 2. It's got to be an equation because it's an equation of a line. It's a vertical line that we're going to graph in there, dashed. Now, how do I get my y-coordinate of the vertex again? I'm going to plug that 2 back in, and that'll give me my y value. So if I do that, I'm going to have 2 squared minus 4 times 2 plus 3. So 2 squared is 4 minus 8 plus 3. That's going to give me negative 1. So I get negative 1 for my y-coordinate of my vertex. We're cruising, baby. We're cruising. All right. So let's go ahead and graph that point and then see what else we can do. So 2, negative 1 is going to be right down here. Now, there are some patterns that are involved with quadratics, but in the event that you're like, hey man, I'm not really sure where this is going to go, I think a t-chart is really our best option. So if I create a little t-chart here with x and y values, I can throw my vertex to negative 1 right in the middle of that t-chart. And then I can pick some values to the left and to the right of 2, which would be 1 and 0, and then to the right would be 3 and 4. I can plug those in, evaluate, get my y values, and plot them. So if I plug in 1, I'm going to have 1 squared is 1, minus 4 is negative 3, plus 3 is 0. So I got the point 1, comma 0. If you were to plug 3 in, I'm going to get 9 minus 12 plus 3 is also 0. Those values should match up. You should see that pattern if you've centered it at the vertex on your t-chart. So I can plot that point as well. Now I'm going to plug in 0 and I'm going to plug in 4. Well, when I plug in 0, as my x value, that's actually going to give me my y-intercept, because anytime x equals 0, I'm going to lie on my y-intercept. If I plug in 0, everything's going to go away except for that 3. Real easy math right there. I'm going to get 0, comma 3. And then I know if I plug in that 4, I'm also going to get 3 based on my patterns, what I know about quadratic functions. Now my axis of symmetry, I'm going to go ahead and plot this guy in a green color here. That's going to be a vertical dashed line that goes right through the vertex of my parabola that I'm going to have here. All right, now we're ready to connect those dots, and it's going to be dope. I'm a little nervous about this because it's always hard to make that perfect curve. Let's see what we got here. Ooh, I kind of missed it. Let's see if I can get the other one. Ooh, that was a lot better. That was a lot better, right? I'm going to go ahead and redo that one right there. Let's see if we can get it. All right, I cheated and I paused and I did it, but it was first try, I swear. It was first try. All right, there we go. We got our vertex. We've got our axis of symmetry. We already said what our y-intercept was, right? We said that was going to be 0, comma 3. That was this guy right here, right, in our t-chart. We found that in our t-chart. Now, it's also asking for x-intercepts, and luckily this time, there are 2 points that are right on my x-axis. Those are these guys right here. Boom. So what are those 2 coordinates for my x-intercepts? If they're x-intercepts, we should write them as coordinates. Well, that's going to be 1, comma 0 and 3, comma 0. So let's write that down. 1, comma 0, and we have 3, comma 0. Boom. I think that's everything, right? We got it graphed. Let me get that out of the way. We've got our axis of symmetry. We wrote that as an equation. X equals 2. It's an equation of a vertical line. We got everything else it's asked for. That's dope. That's awesome. America, freedom, rock and roll, Costco, Riverdog Jenny on the gram, and of course, Mr. Allen Math on the TikTok. Make sure you follow it. See you later.